Hi, it's Tony, and you're at Poppopsworkshop. Today in Gadget Corner, we are talking routers. Now, we can talk about trim routers, normal corded plunge routers, fixed base routers, CNC corded trim routers, or spindle motors, or even the big monsters, those shapers that turn monster-sized bits and can put tenons on a piece of timber frame. But whatever router you're running, what makes it useful to you? What's the thing you want to look for in routers? Well, when you think about versatility, I've had this old Ryobi for longer than I care to think about. I used this when we were doing construction back in the 90s and early 2000s. And it's done really well. Limiting factor on this is not the motor size. It is the fact that it only has a 1/4 inch spindle or collet in it. So I can only use 1/4 inch shank bits on this. Ideally, I'd have a bigger plunge router and I'd be able to use 1/2 inch bits. That would really make my life a little bit easier. But we learn to make do. When it comes to things like trim routers, when we were looking to use more routers in the shop and thinking about how can we utilize this more, we realized we needed one of these. Now, not necessarily particularly this brand, but because many of you know I have some physical limitations that make things a little financially tight at times. So we have to think about using our money the best. And so I got this for probably, I think it was $70 on a sale. So just the tool only, which meant then I had to figure out batteries. I was going to have to buy more batteries. Did a little searching, and since I already had plenty of Porter cable batteries around, I found on Amazon an adapter. You may want to look for this too. It takes my Porter cable batteries and makes them compatible with my Ryobi trim router. So if you're into a battery platform already, that doesn't necessarily mean you're stuck using that particular trim router. Maybe you want to upgrade to a different kind of, maybe you've heard good things about the Makita, the DeWalt, the Milwaukee, whatever it is. You can take your existing battery platform, look on Amazon, find yourself an adapter, and you're in business. So that's one way to take limited funds and up your router game. But no matter what platform you're in, what size router you have, the business end of that router, the tool, the cutting bit, is the most important thing. I learned early on, if you cheap out on bits, you're going to keep spending more and more money. They don't last very long. They burn up, they gum up, and you can clean them, but that gets pretty tedious. If you invest in a better bit, yeah, you might still have to clean them, but it's going to be sharper a lot longer. You're really going to get your money's worth. We found the Freud bits to be excellent for using here in the shop. So whatever router you're running, whether it's your CNC, your shaper, your trim router, or your older plunge router or a newer plunge router, don't cheap out on the bits. So those are some of the things that we found useful about the routers we have in our shop. Some of the things you might want to look out for when you're thinking about getting a router. And hopefully you found this information useful. Thank you for watching. Again, we never take for granted that you are doing that, and we truly appreciate it. So no matter what you're routing in the shop today, just remember, you can do this.